Hey guys, it's ZK back at it again with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. So I know it's been a while. And if you guys know anything Yu-Gi-Oh wise, you know the format is a bit diverse. So I've been trying out a few decks. I mean, I did side frames for a little bit while I did it probably for a long time. But I hopped back onto Ritual Beats just because they have a couple of tops and regionals over the past like month or so. So I'm like, and it was probably my favorite deck of all time. So I figured why not try it again, and see where it's at. And I'd say I did pretty well considering being like rusty as hell. So all right, which one should we do first? We'll do Dark Magician first. So in this one, you can basically say I played standard just because I didn't link summon and I should have. I'm still learning the plays. I learned from this YouTuber. He's pretty awesome. I think his name is like Azalea, or something like that. But yeah, usual Ritual Beast stuff. Just know that basically there's tamers and non-tamers. This is a tamer. So not this actually counts as both. And what's your face? You use them, banish them on field to tag into this motherfucker. He searches everything as you just saw, and setback or pass. I strike this just because I think it helps them get one of the two main pieces that they need. And granted, he drew into this, and he could would have just added the circle and would have been able to start banishing stuff. But all right, end phase, I'm doing all of this, and that's the important thing with this deck. You need to be able to end phase special summons so you don't like waste your special summons because all of them can only be special summoned once per turn besides the fusions. Alright, so I'm doing my usual shenanigans. I'm actually trying to OTK here. I think this is like one of my first duels. So I'm still getting back into the combos. I still didn't link summon this duel just because I knew what I was comfortable with and incorporating the new link stuff. Like I just inherently just didn't link summon with this deck. But I still ended up getting the OTK. I wasn't sure what the back row was. If it was Torrential, he would have already activated it. And turns out it was Circle. So luckily I did end up doing something with it, or else I went ahead to OTK. And then the main thing with bonds is that when I added it this turn was that it lets me fusion summon as a quick play by banishing two Ritual Beasts. This is basically the main card you want to use for your OTK as well as this motherfucker, because you could special summon him out ignoring summoning conditions. And unlike him, who's like, he wants to be the main beater, but he's unaffected by everything whenever he declares an attack. He's not, so he gains all the boosts that you just gain throughout the whole turn. So he's normally 32, but he became 37 because of Paleo. Alright, so let's go on to the next duel. For those of you who don't know how the deck kind of combos often works, I can do it in detail description of that, but like for this video, it just would take too long. It wouldn't be worth like everyone's time. It would have to be a separate video. All right, so I do Defissure and Torrential because I breaks kind of. I have him give me additional normal summon, but that's not going to cut it. With Skyfangs, like as soon as they don't summon something, like special summon something from hand, you just like fucking punish him for it because he's just spammed the board. And since I had Defissure, it really did punish him. I didn't really have any plays because I didn't have any of the non-tamers besides the chick who counts as both. So I just figured I was like, fuck it, go Paleo. It's unaffected by everything. His back rolls anything, fuck it. I steeds, I think, right? Did I steeds? I think I just steeds. Yeah, I steeds the guy because he was gonna try to pop this. So I didn't want him getting rid of Dimensional Fissure just because I knew it was going to be hurting his deck a lot. He wasn't going to be able to get his resources back. And like, as you saw, he plays back to the front. So he's not going to get any value off of that right now. Granted, I didn't know he was playing the Invoked engine. So whenever he actually just fusion summoned, I was just like, what is going on here? But he ends up, let me see. I supposed to summon these back. He doesn't attack into the non-tamer. I mean, into the tamer, which I honestly don't know why, but as you're about to see the top deck, it just kind of solidifies the deal. Like I literally just normal summon, he quits, just because he probably, I don't know if he knows the deck, but essentially this would have been game, like for the most part, 9 times out of 10, just because it was normal summons. I could have switched this to attack mode, just left this on the field. That's like 21 damage. Actually, it might have been a little bit more if I link summoned and incorporated all of that into it, but I wasn't able to really get into the nitty gritty of the combos just because he scooped. and I bricked. So yeah, that was the main thing. But I was that 29 defense non targeting wasn't going to be a problem for my deck. Uh, Next replay. I'll say that one for last. This is the one I incorporate link format stuff into. So we play Oracle Zephyr just to search out the one Zephyr that you run. Normal summon, additional normal summon, banish. You know the normal shenanigans and shit. If you know who Lithium is. And then spam these two out. Now this will be a bit different from the normal combo because you link, then you banish, and then you do your you do weird shit. Like it kind of goes in. Like if I really sat up here and tried to describe everything, it's gonna be a bit much because as you can see, a lot is happening right now. But the deck does what it has to do. It banishes, special summons a lot, searches a lot, and ends with non-targeting removal as well as special summoning shit back. So he's going into his plays. I'm not necessarily agreeing with what he's doing right now, so I don't want him to spend the board too hard, and I want to set up for Steeds just in case he's about, because I knew he was going to. He's, bam, I didn't want him to detach to get the third material to possibly go into Curious. He still does get the summon off of this motherfucker, because, I mean, I don't think I was going to be able to stop it, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And here's Snow. Like, I mean, she's quite annoying. I think he has 9 engraved right now. He gets rid of most of my field. Granted, this puts me in somewhat of a bad position, but not really. I'll pause for a second. As you can see, I would have end-phased Ambush, but in YGL Pro, it doesn't allow me to, like, end-phase and, like, main phase, do stuff. Like, the last duel, the only reason I actually lost was because I couldn't, like, in the main phase, activate something. Like, if my opponent doesn't activate anything, it doesn't give me a window to, like, do anything, which is kind of fucked up. Unless, like, I have a face-up fusion, which allows me to fucking, then it allows me to be like, oh, end phase, do you want to tag out your dude? End phase, I want to activate the ambush. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's so hard about that? But whatever. When I think about it, 2 of these doors will open up Dimensional Fissure. Oh well. With this particular thing I'm about to do, it makes this guy kind of broken just because Dimensional Fissure. I'll actually make him a better version of him just because he banishes one from extra deck and sends the same type of monster from deck to grave. But that banishes is both of them, and if you know, what is it, Ulticana Hawk, you have to target to send it and then search something out from your deck to your hand. And basically gives you more fodder to send to graveyard, well, Ulti Apelio, without actually using any real resources. So you can just add cards for free for the most part without without messing up your banish pile, because your banish pile is your playground. If you don't have a banish pile, you're kind of fucked, and you're probably looking at that and you're like, you're kind of fucked. What's going on? But you'll see. I'm going in a little bit. He banishes stuff from grave too, helping me get my setup. Oh, and because link summoning is a thing, I could just send them over there with D-Fissure. It's a really nice interaction going on right there. See, I just got 8 for no fucking reason over there. But my main concern right now is since I think I top decked this turn. I did. Yeah, I did. Like on some god shit. On some god shit I've been top decking some shit. It doesn't make any sense. Like I think I top decked what did I top deck? A couple days ago. Y'all probably seen it. It was just like, what? No, I had this. I think I had this in hand and top deck this. Both of these are key to me winning this duel, actually. But let's continue with the plays. BM doing my normal shenanigans. I have XZs inside of this deck, but you never really want to go into them, to be quite honest. They don't give you as much value as your fusions and your link monster does, to be quite honest. Going to this nigga. I actually activated Ambush now because I'm kind of like, fuck it. And then I Monster Reborn. Reason for me Monster Reborning is, as I just said, this nigga, he's not a beater. He's unaffected by shit, but that means he doesn't gain this attack boost from him and also from Pelio previous this turn that was already activated. Both of those being said, it kind of makes it where he can't beat over anything that's higher than 26, and most of the deck can't unless you have Steeds already set up. But if you don't have Steeds set up, then you're kind of fucked unless you have Bonds. I don't have to use Bonds to preemptively try to take down this motherfucker, so I don't really have to worry about that. And since I top deck this, I don't have to worry about Fairy Tail Snow. So if I could just OTK this nigga right now, which I'm going to do, I'll be perfectly fine. Reason for me Monster Reborning is because he doesn't have this whole clause about being unaffected by stuff. And I was like, how much does he actually gain? Because throughout all of this, you have to imagine the timer's still going, like, and I'm still like rusty thinking of all these plays, and like I was rushing. I was like, basically, the more you move inside of Death Pro, the little bit more time that you kind of get. So I was just trying to cycle through the plays, and then I thought, uh, back to when the guy said he Monster Reborn this guy as like to get more Bennett, more Untamer and Non-Tamer. And I'm like, is he gonna be big enough to take him down? Surely he was. Luckily, I didn't have a monster right here too. I don't know why I didn't put one, but thank the gods, you know what I'm saying? Thank the gods with some shit. So yeah, ends up being over that nigga, attacking for a lot of damage, and then a fusion for 43, and he had 3850 left. Like, so yeah, that was some close cut shit. If he didn't trick clown, he probably would have still been in it, just because that trick clown damage. It mattered right there. It definitely mattered right there. Let's go to the last duel. This last duel I'm not too proud of, just because the game did not let me do what I wanted to do at all. It was fucking bullshit. I'll say that right now. Sets goes first. Look at this shit. Solid Judgment. He probably thought he was playing some dank ass deck. That's why he Solemn Judgment, bro. Yo, when I saw that shit, I'm like, alright, half your life is gone. I'll take that. Fuck it, right? Okay, so I got this, like, and I was kinda able to do stuff. Like, I had a bit of a setup, but the thing is, this deck doesn't have any Spell Trap negation for the most part. So, well, besides Solemn Judgment, clearly. But oh, and then he just banished it. So that's so well. But then I got 2 strikes in exchange. So like, you're probably thinking like, yeah, that's a good exchange. I actually would have rather had the Solemn Judgment for the next portion. Like, as you'll see, it's fucking annoying. Like, the light stage fucking kills this deck, I swear, just because like it shuts down one of your pieces that you kind of need, and I never even realized it until I just mentioned it just now. Yeah, light stage fucking kills this deck for the most part. I figured I might be able to get some sneak damage in, but nah. Oh my god, couldn't get anything in. If I could have got that 26 in, I might have been able to do some shit. But he locks down the first strike. I get the second strike off. But see, here's the thing: I would have rather had the Solemn Judgment for this, just because it would have shut off a back row anyway. But I just like it searches on activation and negate the activation, get the fucking shit out of here. Literally, like, if you stop one of the pieces, because he would have already summoned this motherfucker last turn if he already had it. He probably top decked into the Terraforming, which he already did, and he already only had 2 cards in hand. Off of me just seeing what he literally just had, he didn't have shit. Like, me being able to Solemn Judgment this basically wins me the game. I don't give a fuck what you say. 9 times out of 10, I'm winning this fucking game. But I wasn't able to do that, and then he ends up coming back and killing me. I negated the summon, but if he has Lycoris, this becomes bad. But besides, he didn't have Lycoris, so I wasn't too concerned about it. So he ends up attacking, doing shit. I go into him preemptively just because I don't want my shit getting destroyed. I want to at least have some type of setup next turn, and I know this is about to go. Then he goes for Utopia to Lightning. This is the bullshit I was fucking talking about earlier. So back row goes, I'm like, shit, I drew into fucking additional normal summon, motherfucker. This doesn't do anything. So I have to go for Steeds. Set Steeds pass. This nigga literally does nothing. All he does in the battle phase, it doesn't give me an option to activate it, which is fucking bullshit, and I don't like that shit because he knew it was that card. He knew it was Steeds, and he probably knows how fucking YGO works. He's like, all right, literally, if I do absolutely nothing, you cannot activate anything, and I'm just like, that's fucking bullshit. It has to be main phase. It has to be like standby main phase, like inner battle phase, something. Like you gotta do something. I think what is it? If it battles, like inner battle phase, alright, effects, like tag, like bang, chain bang, like something, anything, like that's fucking, like I just don't like that shit. Yeah. That shit was annoying, and then you'll see my top deck, and you'll just be like, well, that's a GG. Like, destroys my fucking back row. Top deck into nothingness, so you know how that should go. But no, I should have won that. I don't care what nobody say. About reincarnation actually doesn't hurt my deck. Like, it, as you saw, it can slow it down a little bit, but it just gives me more resources. It doesn't do as much as y'all would like it unless you have Lycoris on board. It's not disruption for my deck whatsoever. I can't think of any cards inside of my deck I would like hate to lose. Can I look through my deck real quick? Apparently not. Alright, it is what it is. I can't look through my deck. But yeah, as you saw, the deck kind of is like, let me set up for his turn, wipe your whole board. If you don't have any back row, I can fucking glide through you. But if you do have back row, then I'm gonna try to piece it apart. Like the only ways I have to piece it apart are Solemn Judgment and not OT Paddlefin, regular Paddlefin. But besides that, I don't have any back row destruction. Like I could show y'all guys a quick deck profile of it to give y'all a general like senses of what it is. This is cut and paste one of the YouTuber I just mentioned, his deck profile. I liked his concepts, and the only thing I really don't like is kind of the Solemn Judgment. Everything else I basically bang with. When I saw the ban list, I was like, triple terraforming sounds kind of good in Ritual Beast, and I didn't know about the interaction where you can basically be like on some of your opponent's monster, just be like activate fusion effect, then chain torrential. So basically, they tag out as cost. They remove themselves from fields as cost in order to get a tamer. What is it? A tamer and non-tamer. But the tamer and non-tamer happens at resolution. So you basically just get torrential their whole board for free, and get a tamer and non-tamer like right after. But yeah, the deck is kind of just centered around like stunning with your back row for the most part. You run Defissure and Macrocosmos because they help out your fucking deck, especially with this motherfucker because he turns into a better version of him. And he's the main guy you actually want to see turn one, him and him, or him, and one of that. You never want to hard draw this. You always want to add it because you just don't want to see it. It's quick play fusion. With most quick play fusions, you don't want to see them. You rather just add them because for battle phase shenanigans, this is additional normal summon, and this just adds this motherfucker. That's kind of it. Monster Reborn helps out this deck just because, let's say you have like at least like a tamer or non-tamer banish, you can just activate it, target like your link if you already linked, and you can just tag him back into the extra deck just because he also has that tag in tag out effect. And then you can continue with your plays. Most the other people can't be summoned like special summoned by any other ways besides their effect, except if you're ignoring it with bonds. But besides that, yeah, he's the only one that can be summoned just like plain out right with Monster Reborn. Oh, and also Monster Reborn gives you like extra materials that you may have like gotten destroyed by Torrential coming back at 3, or by like Solemn Strike, Judgment Warning. Yeah. Running the whole Solemn Brigade just because you can never have too much monster removal, but I think I might cut this down just because I want more spell and trap removal. Granted, I do have Imperial Order. I don't run like spells for this deck aren't a necessity, to be quite honest. None of these spells are a necessity. Your traps are more crucial just because you want your non-targeting removal and you want your special summon shit and also non-targeting removal. Oh, also a weird thing about it, he's additional normal summon and the rest of the team are special summon from somewhere. So you from graveyard, and from banish pile. This is from like deck and extra deck if it's destroyed by opponent's card pick or some shit. Only reason I'm running one of each is kind of because you only need one for your plays. You want to like add one or two to do the whole link summon combo as you saw. Like I added it, then I got an additional normal summon, then special summon something, and continue to basically fusion and get shit. But besides just having all of them at one, this is like pretty standard for a Ritual Beast deck. I would say like the strikes I wouldn't say are pretty standard. Like Imperial Order, I can say is pretty standard for Ritual Beast. Like since this came back, like spells has never been a necessity inside this deck, especially when Italy went to 1. Like if Dimensional Fissure comes back at 3, you might want to cut it just because this is a fucking boss of a card. Same thing with Macrocosmos. If that comes at 3, you run it at maximum. Like just because it fucks everyone up. Period. I don't know what deck that it doesn't fuck up. That's meta right about now. Who else we got? I think that's it. I think I'm just ranting at this point. All right, guys. So my name's DK. My partner's Ace, and this is Team Zombie King, guys, and we're out. See you guys. Oh, let me know for any ideas that you want for future videos. As far as whether you want a more in-depth review of these mofos. Love them to death, but I can't just sit up here and say they're not complicated. I like complicated decks though. If it's too basic, I ain't gonna like it. But yeah, all right. See you guys.